Hello. This is Sarah, and I am all by myself. All by myself. Don't wanna be all... Okay, you don't need to hear that. Anyway, I am by myself recording right now. Amy is on maternity leave, so we have been playing some pre-recorded episodes, but guess what? We ran out. So now, what we thought we'd do, we have a few weeks left of 2019. So I think we're going to replay some of our favorite episodes for you all in the meantime. And then coming back in January, we will have some brand new murders, some WTAFs, and hope you guys will continue listening while we take some time with our families, and hope you guys get to spend a lot of nice time with your families. And here we go. Enjoy and happy holidays. Bye.
Hometown Murder Tour is a true crime podcast for entertainment purposes only, assuming you find us entertaining.
That being said, stories of violence, sexual assault, and other criminal acts will be discussed, using adult language. Consider this your warning.
All right. Hey. Guys, we're gonna... Hi, first of all. Hey,
Welcome to
Hometown Murder Tour.
Yes.
I'm Amy.
I'm Sarah, and we are all aboard the struggle bus today.
Yeah, we are. It took me... How many times did I forget my phone, and it was either in my pocket or in my hands?
Yeah,
out
several.
the door.
Yeah.
You couldn't say words.
No.
For a while.
I mean, I already have that problem,
right.
So it's going to be real ugly today.
Yep. We're,
But we're doing it.
We're going to do this. So,
here we go.
We've got another hometown murder for you today. We're going to cover.
It's a biggie.
It is a biggie. It's going to be a fun one. We'll tell you that here in a minute. As we like to do on these murder episodes, we want to read a review.
Yes.
So we're going to do that, and then we've got a little bit of info to give you before we kind of start.
Mm-hmm.
This is an iTunes review. Again, it's from Railroad Wife 1012 or 1012. I'm not sure how she'd prefer us to say that, but Railroad Wife. Hey,
we'll say how we want to say it. Railroad Wife. Oh my God. I need to ask my mom if at one point in my childhood I had to have speech therapy because I feel like there are some issues that need to be addressed.
Guys, it's going to be bad. All right, here we go.
Okay.
It's going to be great is what it is. Sorry. Railroad Wife 1080p, whatever, 1012. Here we go. Hi, Railroad Wife. Here's your review. It says, love this podcast. This is my absolute favorite true crime podcast right now. The hosts have a good blend of humor and respect while talking about local cases. I'm telling every true crime fan I know about them. I'm a bored 40-ish-year-old Missouri housewife that's slightly true crime obsessed, so yeah, I'm kind of an expert. Kissy face emoji. Not only are these ladies great to listen to, but I kind of want them to be my best friends. I'm not a stalker. I'm a groupie.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
We've got a groupie.
Woo woo. You can be a stalker too if you want.
Yeah, I've always wanted a stalker.
I know, right? That was awesome. That was a really good one.
Much.
It made my day.
Glad.
So, thank you, Railroad Wife. And if you would like to leave us a review, that'd be great. We do have a couple reviews on Podbean that we'll read in the future. But yeah, on wherever you can leave us a review on Twitter if you want. But tell us what you think. We'll give you a shout out. And yeah. There we go.
Cool.
Before we start this one, you had
I just have a little update. So my very, very, very dear friend, John, I grew up with him. But anyway, he kind of works in social work in different areas throughout his career. But so he sent me a text because at one point in the last case we did, the gutting case, we had asked the question, like,
Where is he?
Where is he? Is he in prison? Is he in a mental health facility?
So this was the Cooper gutting case. So, yeah.
So this is what he wrote.
So where is gutting? What's going on with that?
Yeah. First of all, he did agree with us that, I mean, we're doctors, all of us, that he is not schizophrenic, but obviously he did have some sort of other mental break. And unfortunately, that is... A lot of times people just grab that name.
It's
of
like
an
the
illness.
go-to.
Yes,
well,
that
they're schizophrenic.
Is not what it is.
Yeah.
So we all agree on that. So he says states typically are required to have one state hospital, and depending what it falls under, there's an adult psychiatric hospital that has NGRI, not guilty by reason of insanity, and others that are in correctional system with mental health. Typically, they are sent there before trial to be evaluated for competency in...
Which he was.
Right. And they provide groups for patients to achieve competency. Sometimes beyond rehabilitation, and thus they stay in the hospital. They are in locked units and identified as forensics, quote unquote, whereas civil patients, those that are not safe to live in the community, are in separate locked units. This is the hospital and demographic that he works with.
Okay.
So
he's in the process of, like, maybe possibly becoming competent for trial, right?
It sounds like he's in a group trying to get to be competent, but if he never gets that point,
then he's like, how, like, it's sort of, he has like a cell, or what? How did he describe it? Like
it's their rooms that are locked,
he's locked up.
Units.
So he's not just like, I don't know, like, I guess right now I'm picturing it's like One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and he's just like playing checkers and
that's what I'm
trying to get better, or
sure.
I don't know. Like, all right,
but there you go. There's some info.
Interesting. Thank you to
Thanks,
your friend, John.
Love you.
All right.
Okay, what else is on our
I think
list?
That's it. We're just gonna start driving. Do we want to say what we're doing?
Okay,
guys, this
everyone.
is a good one.
It's a good one.
This is a really good one.
Probably heard of it if you do true crime at all, because it was national, bitches.
Oh, this was a biggie. Mm-hmm. Big one. Another one with we got a 2020 episode from this. I can't remember. People Magazine did like a huge ass spread on it.
Yep. So we are doing the Stouty Antifreeze murders.
The Antifreeze Mom, you guys. We got this one today, so it's gonna be a fun one.
Yep.
So what we're doing, this case, this is kind of an interesting one because there's two locations. So we're going to go to the first location first, because that makes sense.
Yep. We are about facts and following the facts. So that means first murder.
First is first, people.
That's right.
That's how we do this. So the first home where the murder happened is in the West Side neighborhood here in Springfield. So Sarah, that's your deal. You want to talk about that a little bit?
So we are, it's kind of between Scenic and Chestnut Expressway. You may remember, if you've listened to some of our past podcasts.
Yeah, this was crazy when we're looking at
this house is right in the same neighborhood down the street, almost as the
cold case
Shirley Rose.
So we did that a few episodes ago, and it's really just up the street a ways.
Yep.
Same place. So yeah, this is what, north of Grand?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this area, I mean, like right now we're driving by brand new apartments, but the most of this is an old neighborhood, very small, simple houses. Am I turning here?
Yeah, I have the map, don't I?
You do.
Sorry.
That's okay. Anyway, so it's not like it.
Yes,
it wasn't a wealthy neighborhood to start with. Even back in the day, probably in the 60s and 70s when these were built.
But turn left at the next left.
Okay. But now most of the houses, I shouldn't say most, a lot of the houses are not well kept.
Right.
It's kind of just a little bit of a rougher area.
Yes.
Than, your normal, I guess, middle class area. This road is real narrow, so
yeah, it is.
I guess we're gonna
get up in there.
Turn in there.
Got it.
Got it. So we are driving down. There's a retirement community or hospital. No, what do you call those?
Nursing and rehab.
That's it. Nursing home. Right here, but
Ooh,
Lombard.
that'd be a
We
good
just
picture.
passed Lombard because that's where Shirley Shirley Rose. Why do I want to call her Shirley Joe? Is that something else?
No.
Okay.
Right here. Turn right.
Turn right here. Okay.
And it's right here
Okay.
on the corner.
This one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tiny.
Okay, it is on the corner lot. They did do it correctly. So I have this pet peeve about houses that are built on a corner. People, put the garage on the side of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put it on the front. You're on a corner lot. That's what that corner's for. Okay, sorry. But they did do that on this one. But it's just a white-sided house.
But she digresses.
I do. That was,
Tiny house.
tiny. It
and
was
that
like
comes in
930 square feet or something like that.
Little siding,
Tiny.
typical.
But the rest of the houses on the street,
Kind of not too bad.
I mean, it's not horrible. They're definitely small.
There's a few here and there that are a little
Sketch.
need some work, but
Yeah.
for the most
one's
part,
real
they're-
nice,
yeah.
look.
Across the street, the little
Yeah. This one
Nice
looks terrifying.
yeah.
Pretty
a
sure
little rough.
if there hasn't already been, there's going to be a murder in there.
Yeah.
So we'll keep that on our radar.
I'll go ahead and mark that one.
Yeah. But anyway, so it's probably just a mix of. I would say there's a bunch of old people that live on the
Yes,
street
that have
been
lived here
there
forever.
forever. Yep.
And then the neighborhood's kind of maybe gone down around them
Yeah.
a little bit.
And so, kind of in between, there's the Boys and Girls Club that's close by. Some more industrial type businesses. So, anyway, that's kind
That's
of
the West Side neighborhood.
Side. So, that is where our first murder takes place. And I think you want to go park. Shall
Yeah,
we
let's
down
park.
here.
Yeah.
Oh, there is the Borough Behavioral Health place
yeah.
right there too.
Let's park there with our recording equipment.
That's fine.
It'll be fine.
Totally fine. They won't immediately.
So what we want to do is we want to park somewhere in this neighborhood and kind of talk about the first murder that happened in this. Right.
Sorry.
That happened in this area, because then we've got to kind of jump across
Here?
town. Yeah, little park.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's like they knew we were going to do this.
Yep.
So yeah, I guess we don't even have to really stop.
Nope.
We just got to park the car and keep on rolling, and then let's do this.
And
All right.
get our belts off, lock the doors, and let's do this.
You want to do the?
Yes. I will start with the obituary.
Let me set this down.
Okay. So the our victim's name was Mark Allen Stouty. That is spelled Staudte.
Yes.
So kind of a strange spelling, but it's pronounced Stouty. So he was 61. He passed away Sunday, April 8th, 2012. That actually happened to be Easter Sunday. He was born April 7th, 1951 in St. Louis. He graduated from St. John's College in Winfield, Kansas, where he met his wife, Diane, and they were married December 28th, 1985. Mark loved to play music. And then the rest is just basically he was preceded in death,
yeah,
so
by
I'm not
family
going to
stuff.
name everybody there. There was a memorial service held at Redeemer Lutheran Church. We'll hear
get into
more
that.
about that. There was no visitation, and
That's about it.
that's about it. It was pretty cut and dry.
Yeah. Do we want to talk about the victims
Maybe
thing, or
at
we want
the
to do that at
end.
the end? I
Yeah.
think so too. Okay.
All right, so should we talk about the Stouty family in general?
Yeah. Because
Okay.
they're all kind of involved
Yes.
in one way or another.
Yeah.
So our first victim, I guess, would be Mark. And so that's kind of why we read the obituary for him. But there's a whole family kind of involved. So we're just going to give you a little bit of information about the Stouty family, so you kind of know what we're getting into. For those of you that don't know, and even if you are familiar with this case, it's always nice to kind of refresh. So Diane Stouty, the mother, she was a nurse and an organist at Redeemer Lutheran Church. So where that memorial was held, she was very active in the church there a lot.
Did I read that she like played the organ there for like 30 years or something?
Yeah, I mean, she was
a long time.
Long time.
Yeah.
Very active in the church. Everybody kind of knew her. She was huge at the Lutheran Church. I don't know if the rest of the family went very much. Didn't seem that way. But that's kind of her deal. Mark, the dad, whose obituary we just read, he was a lead singer of a blues band, and would sometimes bartend to make extra money, but didn't really have kind of a...
Didn't seem like a set. Like he kind of more like the home...
Stay at home. They mentioned he kind of stayed home with the kids a lot, but so Diane was the primary breadwinner of the family. So that's the mom and dad. They had 4 children. Sean was the oldest. At some point in our research, the mother, Diane, had said that he had a form of autism, but it wasn't reported. Reported. Sarah, a daughter. Rachel, a daughter, and Brianna, the youngest daughter. So 4 children. Overall, outside appearances, from what you'd ask people at the time, they seemed just kind of like anybody who knew them. They were just like a typical family who kind of did their thing, lived their lives, nothing out of the ordinary. Right. And then all 6 of them, the 4 children and the husband and wife, they lived in the house that we just drove by. A 3-bedroom, 1 bath.
So
tiny.
6 people in under 1,000 square feet.
Even for a 3-bedroom, it looked tiny. I mean, it was tiny. That's just a little bit of info about the Stouty family.
Okay.
You want to get into the first?
So the first
murder here,
death occurred, as I said, on Easter Sunday in 2012. So Diane returns from church, from the Easter services, and finds Mark dead in the home. So she calls 911, says he'd been sick with flu-like symptoms for a while, but didn't go to the doctor. So they get, they come and get him. They take him. Of course, they do. The coroner does the coroner examines him or whatever. So nothing really turned up that was out of the ordinary, except he did have a ring of blood around his mouth, but they just decided based on his health, because he didn't take care of himself. It sounds like his brother even said in the 2020 thing, like, he was diabetic and didn't eat well and that kind of stuff. So
sometimes stuff happens when you die. Like you don't know where,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you
fluids
died.
and whatnot.
Exactly.
And so it wasn't nothing like screamed,
problem,
oh my God, this is foul
murder,
play or whatever.
Right. So there was no autopsy. He was cremated and ashes were scattered in the Springfield Lake, which I'm wondering, can you just do that?
I mean, I think
I know you have to
technically
get
you can't, but people, I mean,
do it all the time.
I mean, I don't think you can go to a national park and dump ashes either, but people do it.
Gotcha. Okay.
It makes me wonder how many people are
swimming
dumped
with?
in Springfield Lake.
Yep.
Also, some people literally were dumped in Springfield Lake. We'll get to that one at some point, guys. That's a case.
Yeah. So ashes and actual dead bodies.
Yep.
Okay.
That's why lakes. Don't do lakes, guys.
Yeah.
Don't.
Never.
Ever.
So Diane has the memorial service at the church, and then she does end up getting a small life insurance policy, $20,000, and that's when she moves the family into a larger home, south. So,
we'll kind of head there. But that's kind of where we're at. There was just this unfortunate passing of, Mark Stouty, and that was
no
kind
one
of it.
thought anything
no
of
one
it.
thought
Other
anything
than
of it.
It was tragic, sad.
Yep. So we will head to the house number 2.
Okay.
And we'll tell you more when we get there.
All right.
Hi, Amy.
Hey, Sarah.
Do you ever feel like you've got to have some hand-cut leather jewelry?
Hell yeah, I do.
I thought so. Well, boy, do I have something for you.
What's that?
Serendipity Designs.
For real?
For real.
What's it called?
Serendipity Designs.
Okay.
She's got a website. She's on Facebook. She's on the Instagram. You need to check her out. And I think you even get 10% off if you use the code MURDER.
Hell yeah.
at checkout. So go to serendipitydesigns.com and use the code MURDER for 10% off.
How do you spell serendipitydesigns.com?
SARAHNDIPITY designs.com.
I'm there now.
Okay, bye.
Bye. And we're back.
Okay, we are
What
now
is
at the second location.
That was a jaunt.
It was a jaunt.
This is the Parkcrest neighborhood.
So this is more south side, southwest, right?
Yes.
In Springfield. And so this is like middle class. We've got some smaller houses, but then you can get in some of these streets that have bigger houses.
When would you say these all kind of
I would
started
say
springing
these were
up?
80s.
80s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe late 70s,
yeah.
but 80s design for sure.
Okay.
And like I remember growing up, there wasn't anything like, so we're kind of right past where Chesterfield Village is. That wasn't there. That was built
Right.
like when I was in high school. So
You're
these
gonna
houses
turn up here, I think.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, left. Right.
Left.
Right. Or
Right.
left. Right. Okay. So all of these people would go to like Kickapoo High School, and they're well-maintained homes. They're not necessarily huge, but nicely middle class.
It should be up here on our left pretty soon.
So
the
she
house.
Definitely
She moved up
moved up. I want to say
right here.
16. Well,
Yep.
yep. I'm not gonna say it.
Up.
But doop boop boop. Okay.
There it is. So there's the house.
Yep. And it's there. These houses are all pretty cookie cutter. They might have a different brick
Little
on them or a
ranch.
different
Yep.
siding on it. But I think this one, it was like 1,500 square feet. So got some more square footage, and of course they're down a body.
Yes.
So they've got extra room now.
Yep. Got.
They're not sharing 6 people in one bathroom.
Yep.
Which can we blame her?
One bathroom.
One bathroom.
Jeez, no wonder.
No wonder. Who wouldn't? So,
all right.
actually, remind me to tell you who I think lives right here on the street.
Got it.
Okay. Someone we just talked about off air.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that was the neighborhood.
So that was a house. Definitely a move up.
It was definitely a move up.
Nicer home, nicer area, bigger home.
Yep.
So the studies are moving on up.
Moving on up to the
south
west
side. Yeah, southwest.
Southwest
Are we in a
side.
cul-de-sac?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We're getting out of here? Are we
maybe.
lost?
That's one of the things about these neighborhoods, they've got cul-de-sacs, and then you get lost. Hey, there looks like there's a party here.
Let's just, maybe they have some food. Cook out. Hey guys.
Hey.
Hometown Murder Tour.
We're here. Tell us what you know. Okay, I know where we are now.
So we are going to find a spot in the Parkcrest area
finish out these
to finish this.
murders.
Excuse me.
Should I go back to that church?
Yeah, can we do that?
I don't see why not.
Let's do it.
Okay, we're gonna do it.
So there is a church. I forgot the name. But nearby, really close.
Yep.
And so we're just gonna maybe park there.
This is a different church. Maybe we'll park it. There's 2 churches, people.
Hey, it's Springfield.
It is Springfield.
There's
church on every corner. Okay, let's do this right here.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Cool.
All right.
All right.
Perfect.
Parking, locking the door.
Getting set up here.
All right. And notes.
Get our notes out. So, I am gonna set this recorder down.
I will move my Sonic. Oh, we forgot to say we went to
Oh
Sonic.
yeah, we got our drinks from Sonic.
What'd you
We
get?
actually went to a place we forgot wasn't to Sonic.
Yep.
Because this is how we started today. We forgot that wasn't a Sonic anymore. And then we had to go to a different Sonic.
So,
But we got our limeades.
Diet cherry limeade. You got a strawberry limeade.
Yep.
We're all set.
All set. So here we
Okay.
go. After
5 months.
Mark passed away on Easter Sunday, we're going to fast forward 5 months, right? So the family, they've moved into this new house that we just drove by.
I mean, more fast forwarding, but It's only
not really
5
right.
months.
We are slowly fast forwarding
5 months.
5 months later. So 5 months later, September of 2012, yet again, Diane comes home from church to find her son, Sean, who I believe was like 26.
26, I think.
26 at the time. He was curled up on the floor of his bedroom with no pulse. So she calls 911. Sound familiar? Coming home from church. Again, she tells police he'd been sick with flu-like symptoms for a week. That the night before, so that Saturday night, he had told her that he didn't feel well. He went to bed. She said, and I'm saying all she said, because like people, she said that she checked on him throughout the night. Like she's super concerned about
Doubt it.
and then once more before leaving for church that morning. She also mentions to the, I guess, police or whoever's there that he had a history of seizures as well. He was found with the same ring of blood around his mouth. But again, based on information from Mom, based on what they saw, they didn't think it was foul play. Also, when like cops show up to a 911 call, it's not like they remember, oh, well, 5 months ago, you're the person who had the same.
Well,
like,
they're in a different house.
Different, like, they don't know. This is just an accidental death, according. They actually did do an autopsy on this one, and there was nothing suspicious in the autopsy. So coroners ruled Sean's death due to prior medical issues based on things that Diane, his mother, had said that he had.
Right.
So, within 5 months, you have this family who's experienced 2 just all of a sudden deaths, and the reaction to people that knew this family was just, oh my God.
I mean, just like they had the worst luck.
This is how horrible. Like that this poor family, bless their hearts, that whole thing, right? So no questions were really asked. Nobody really thought anything other than just this is tragic. Like how can this,
which
be
shit
happening?
like that does happen.
It does happen, right? And so kind of the same thing. Nobody really thought anything was weird. At the time, like while this was happening, a neighbor across the street was actually the secretary at that church, the Redeemer Lutheran Church, where Diane Stouty was the organist and really involved. So the church secretary lived across the street and sees a coroner's van, like at the house, and is like, "What the fuck? Like, holy shit!"
I'm sure that church secretary said, "What the fuck?"
She was like, "Jesus H Christ!"
Yep. What the fuck?
Holy fucking shit.
Yep. Especially if you see this woman on the 2020 show, you could really see her saying
Picture her
these.
saying that. Yeah. Holy fuck. Yeah. So
Church
she goes over afterwards to just like check, like, hey,
okay?
how, like, oh my God, I saw there was a coroner's van. Like, is everything okay? What's happening? And Diane's reaction is just like, oh, my son died. And
like, no emotion.
Right. On the 2020, she's like, they're like, oh, just like that? And she's like, yeah, just like that. Like, oh, I was doing the dishes. Like, oh, my son died. No emotion, super flat. And the neighbor was like, okay. So your son then? Like a mother who lost a son? You're just saying it like it is then? And then she also mentions, like, after that they weren't really an outgoing kind of family anyway when they moved into the neighborhood. But after this, she's like, I never even saw them get their mail. Like, we never saw them outside ever.
And didn't she say, like, one time she was going to come over, or she saw her in the garage?
And the garage was open, and she's like, hey, neighbor.
And she shuts the garage, as she's walking over. Like, okay, bye.
Yeah. They obviously didn't want to talk to me. So they just got, like, even more reclusive after this and that. There was no funeral held for Sean. There was not even obituary posted. Nothing. So whereas she had
asshole.
Right?
What a dick.
Right. So she had the funeral, at least like a memorial service for her husband. Didn't for her son.
An obituary,
like
but nothing for the son.
Nothing.
Zero.
He was cremated. And in fact, in one of the, I think it was like a newsletter thing I was reading, some of Mark's relatives, so like her in-laws, they didn't even know about it. They found out from like other people that Sean, their nephew,
Yeah.
was dead. So
That's
just
awful.
like nothing,
Yeah.
no word, no anything. Just, oh, my son died.
Clearly, she did not read books or anything about, hey, when you kill people, you have to
Here's
act
how
sad.
to pretend.
Yeah.
Right. Like, really?
Stupid.
So at this point, September of 2012, there's Diane, the mother, the eldest daughter, Sarah, who's 24, Rachel, the middle daughter, who's 22, and then the youngest daughter, who's like 10 or 11 around this time. So that's it. It's just like mom and the girls living their lives, closing the garage door when people wave at them for like...
Yep. And now they have even more room.
Yes, they do.
Just saying.
Even more room.
Yep. I don't know, though. 4 women, 1 house. We gotta thin that out.
Yeah, we do, because it's gonna get rough. So that brings us to our next incident, which is gonna be September 2012. It's now June of 2013.
Right. So not even a year later.
And we have here. This is where the shit hits the fan.
Yep.
Correct. This is you. You got this.
So June. Guess who is getting sick? That's right, people. It's Sarah. So Sarah, the oldest daughter, remember she's 24, she gets really sick. And they take her to the ER in serious condition. Her kidneys and other organs are completely shutting down and her brain is hemorrhaging. So it
Not
looks real bad. Like,
real bad.
everybody, I think, just assumed she was probably going to die.
Yeah, and again, it's just like, how can this be happening?
Right.
Like, yeah.
In this family.
Yeah.
So, Diane's on Facebook. She's asking for prayers. People can't understand how much tragedy can hit one family. It's just so sad. So she does, like, at least learn how to pretend a little bit more with this one. You know, she's asking for prayers and she's putting updates on Facebook and commenting on Sarah's status and how she's slowly recovering and all of this. But in the meantime, right?
Here we go, people.
The SPD gets an anonymous tip. Should I say who it is? Because that doesn't come out till later. Well, we'll just say it.
Yeah.
It's her pastor. Okay, people?
At the time, they didn't know.
Right.
Like, no one knew. It was just an anonymous tip.
Right.
But we know now.
We know, yes.
It was the pastor at Redeemer Lutheran Church who called this bitch
calls
in.
the police with a tip saying that he's concerned that there's this weird activity going on. Going on with these deaths, and that Diane may be responsible. So
he just like says it. Just comes out there and
it's
is like,
hey,
listen.
you need to look at Diane because she's not right.
Yep.
So the tipster mentioned Diane's lack of emotion when the husband died and thought it was odd, which, you know, they do say when people are in shock, you can't always...
Right.
But it,
like, compounds. So that was, like, one odd thing he noticed. And then
got suspicious of Sean's death because she was even more emotionless. And then the final straw that made him call was the fact that Diane never told him that her daughter was about to die in the hospital, even though she was always at the church. Someone else at the church had to tell him about it.
Right. So he's like, this is not normal.
No.
This is not, a woman does not lose her husband, her son, and then have her daughter at death's door and is like chill about it.
Right.
And not even telling her pastor, who she sees probably multiple times a day up at this church.
Yep.
Like, what the fuck?
And you're at church. Churchy people ask for prayers all the time.
Yeah. And
like, let's pray
for
about
my daughter who's going to die.
Yeah.
Like this, right. And he's just like,
she doesn't even know how to church right.
She can't church. She can't pretend to grieve. Like,
she's not. She's a robot.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. Robots are programmed to know how to church.
Right.
So, all right. So, after all the tips and everything, the detective starts to investigate. The death reports are so similar with the Mark and the son, Sean, and so he starts kind of connecting the dots a bit. He goes to the hospital and speaks to the doctor, who also says he has some suspicions about what's happening to Sarah, because the mom made some comment to the nurse that her illness was not going to ruin her vacation she had planned.
Damn.
Did you hear that?
No, I missed that.
So she said, like, I guess she had this trip to Florida coming up.
Like,
and she's like, I'm not going to let her illness ruin my trip to Florida.
what the fuck?
Yep.
Like,
again, now she
Pretend.
doesn't know how to hospital.
You can't.
She doesn't know how to church.
She doesn't know how to hospital.
No.
She doesn't know how. I don't
No.
like.
Yeah.
She doesn't know how to. Yeah, I don't even know.
And so,
Her vacation. My vacation. What the
sorry.
fuck?
Gotta go to the beach. So anyway, doctor's suspicious, the nursing staff's suspicious.
Everybody's just like, this bitch
Yeah.
doesn't know how to be.
Yep. And so at that point, she is called in for questioning.
Oh,
Here we go, people.
Can we turn the air down a bit? It's a little.
Are you hot or cold?
No, cold.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Got it.
Down. The fan down. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here is where, so she's called in for questioning, and this is great. Like, this is so great. If you guys watch, you can get on YouTube and type in,
It's a 2020.
it's the 2020, I think the episode's called A Family Plot, or The Family Plot, or something.
I'll just put
but-
in Antifreeze.
Yeah,
or
Antifreeze Mom, Missouri, and you can find it. But they have, you can watch the interrogation and the questioning and all that. So we're getting a lot of that from this, or we're getting most of this from that.
Yes, got it.
That's how that works.
It's circular. It's
Yep.
fine.
And then some of it we're going to just give quotes from it because it's just perfect. It's wonderful. So, she's brought in for questioning at the Springfield PD. And she's first asked about her daughter. Like, hey, your daughter, how's she doing? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. And she talks about her condition, her circumstances, and in the video, she's just super nonchalant. Like, well, her kidneys are shutting down, and this is happening. And she mentions, it's kind of weird how she says it. She's like, I mean, how is she even living? I don't know. Like, how is she coming through?
Right.
I don't know.
Because she's like, because I poisoned her.
Because what the fuck? She should be dead, right?
Yeah.
So just the way she, one, describes her illnesses, but then is also like, I mean, I'm surprised that she's even alive, instead of
she's
thank
probably
God,
actually thinking to herself,
son of a bitch,
I didn't do it enough.
I didn't get, so that's kind of weird. Then she's asked about her husband's death. She talks about his health problems, some seizures and stuff goes into all her husband's health problems, and then her son's death is brought up, and she talks about seizures that he had, and that's kind of why he died. Again, all of this is very like, yep, that happened. Like, just telling you the facts.
Well, and even at one part, like in the beginning, she's like, it's real. I kind of like cringe anytime I watch those like police interrogation ones, because it's like, you at this point we already knew she's guilty, so it's just weird to watch. And she's like almost like not giddy, but like kind of giggles at one point.
Yes.
And
just
it was like, oh, gross.
It's weird. You need to watch it, you guys.
Yeah.
Get up on
Do
that
it.
YouTube and do it.
Turn us off. No, just kidding. Don't. Listen to
After
this
this episode. So then the investigator, he turns and he starts asking her about her marriage. And this is where it's like, here we go, people. So we asked about her marriage. She says, well, to be honest, it wasn't a good marriage. He cheated. He drank. He wasn't a great guy. She kind of hinted at abuse.
Yes, but didn't really.
And she's like, my kids probably wouldn't think so, or my kids would think it was, but I didn't. And just kind of, it was weird. She mentions that she still loved him to the investigator. But kind of goes on and on about how miserable the marriage was. Well, then the detective, and this is like classic way to do this, right? He kind of switches roles. Instead of asking questions, it's more of like he's sympathizing with her. He kind of talks about, sympathizes with her marriage, sympathizes with her struggles, how hard it must be, to be doing all this on your own, and yada, yada, yada. He even connects with her on like the Christianity level and says he's a believer himself. And he has this quote, which is great. Like, I don't even know like how you come up with that, but he says at one point, that quote, even the righteous reach a breaking point.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give her, like, you have permission, you know, that you are a godly woman,
Right.
but it's everybody breaks. Yeah. So I thought that was great.
Yeah.
So he kind of plays that. He then asks about Sarah and is like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Like, I've asked you how she's doing,
Right.
but let's talk about, like, how she got into this position. And that's where she kind of starts to, she's like, well, I didn't do anything.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to do with it.
But
That's not what I asked.
I know, right? So that's her first response. Is like, well, I didn't do anything, but I could have brought her in earlier.
Yeah.
And she
like,
starts.
I don't know what I could have done, but I could have brought her in.
Yeah.
Called 911 sooner.
Right. And she's like, I'm so horrible. Like, I could have brought her in. She was sick. She says her son Sean was suicidal and had suicidal tendencies, and she never did anything to help him. And she says several times, like, I'm horrible. I'm a horrible mother. I'm, you know, just kind of woe is me kind of thing. And then out of nowhere, the detective says, well, now's your chance to tell me why this happened. Not how it happened, but why it happened. It's your chance to show some remorse. And then out of nowhere, like legit out of nowhere, all of a sudden it's just like light switch.
I mean, he must have really had a good read on her that he could just jump from this kind of stuff and then be like, okay, you're ready to tell me what happened.
Right. It's I really would love to watch the entire, because, you know, it's edited a little bit and cut and all that, but I would love to watch this whole thing because
well, it was only 2 hours, wasn't it? Didn't I read somewhere that
it was short
interview or whatever was 2 hours long?
Yeah, and he left it part of it to like come back. So she just like spilled the beans. So he says, now's your chance to tell me why this happened. Now's your chance to show remorse. And here it is. You got this one?
Here we go. The confession. So Diane. Are these quotes?
Yeah, these are, I just didn't type up quotes.
Gotcha.
I was lazy.
Okay, so this is literally what Diane says. To put it short and sweet, they were drinking antifreeze. I was so mad at them, I didn't want to take them in.
So she says they were doing it.
Yeah.
Like, I knew they were drinking antifreeze, but I didn't.
Right, like they chose to do it themselves.
Chug-a-lug, all of them, right.
And the detective was like, you knew they were drinking it because you gave it to them. And Diane says, I didn't know what else to do.
So there it is.
Yep. And so she admits to giving them a couple of teaspoons of antifreeze for a couple of days. Mixed in Coke for Sean and Sarah and Gatorade for Mark. So
does it really take a couple days?
That's what my question was. Like, a couple of teaspoons, is it that poisonous?
I don't know.
Well, I guess if you did too much, it'd be obvious.
Too obvious.
But if you
I just feel like it would be like over a longer period of time. But I guess not. I mean, I don't know.
Well, she also, I mean, we can't trust what she's saying.
True.
It could have been. I mean, she said both for Mark and for Sean that they had been flu-like symptoms
for a week.
Right. So, probably doing it longer than that. So, for the motive, okay, according to her, so Mark, there really is no motive.
The daughter later says, well, mom hated him.
Right.
So, like,
I mean, bad marriage, I guess, is the motive for that.
Right.
But it's not as specific as when she gets to talk about Sean.
She talks about specific, in the confession.
So, I mean, this is what it was just like, oh my God, this woman.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I mean, Mom of the Year, people.
Right.
So, Sean and this is according to her, Sean and Sarah never helped out or contributed. Sean was always interfering with everything she tried to do. Quote, and he was more than a pest.
Yeah, because he says he's like he was annoying or he was a pest. And she's like, more than a pest.
Yeah. And keep in mind, as far as we know, he was somewhere on the autistic spectrum.
Right.
He had special needs. So, way to be empathetic, bitch.
Right?
Jeez. And then Sarah had a ton of student loan debt. I mean, actually, this Sarah does as well. So
true that. The same
maybe
does as well, too.
I just need to go ahead and drink some antifreeze.
Right.
I don't know. So Sarah had a ton of student loan debt and no job, so she was going to have to pay it all. So basically, she didn't want to pay Sarah's student loans.
Right. And I'm guessing, I can't remember for sure, but I don't think, neither one of them had a job. Is that correct?
Right, correct.
So they were 26 to 24 and at home.
Yes. still living at home.
And she's like...
Apparently they didn't contribute anything. They were lazy, blah, blah, blah.
Which, I mean, like, be mad about that.
Yeah.
But damn, like...
Don't poison them.
Right.
So, and of course, during the entire interview, again, just this flat affect throughout the whole interview. Like, she didn't show any emotion. It was just kind of matter of fact. Even when she says she regrets doing it, it was like...
I regret it.
I regret it.
I regret doing it, but...
But I guess
That's
I'm
student
a
loan
horrible...
debt, though.
I'm a horrible... Right?
He never...
Right.
Picked his towels up off the floor, so...
Yep. So, antifreeze.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. So, you go.
There's more. During this time, they searched the home, because, like, you know, they can. They talk about and show on the 2020, the house is in...
It is a disaster.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It is.
Super messy, unorganized, out of control. Like,
Things
this is
everywhere.
not a home with their shit together.
No.
Like, at all.
Like, nobody had their shit together.
No, not a one person.
Nope.
In that house
Nobody
had
was...
their shit together. So while they're searching the home, they go into the garage, and there you go, right on a workbench, there's a bottle of antifreeze, and next to the antifreeze, there's Coca-Cola, just sitting there like bottles of Coke, little,
Here you go.
just right there, ready to go.
Make your own cocktail.
So make your, like,
It was like their bar cart.
Yeah, there was their bar right there in their
I'm
garage.
gonna add antifreeze to my bar cart.
Yeah.
It is a pretty color. Sorry.
They have tasteless. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So while they're searching the home, they find a diary from the other daughter, Rachel. So remember, Sarah is the daughter that's like hanging on for dear life in the hospital. Rachel, 22 years old, they find her diary. Okay? You guys, listen to this.
You guys.
Okay, so they like flip through the diary, as investigators are wont to do. And there's an entry written a year before Mark's death. So he died Easter of 2012. This is June of 2011. And here's what it says. Are you ready?
You ready?
Okay. This is in her, Rachel, the daughter's diary. It says, "It's sad when I realize how my father will pass on in the next 2 months. Sean, my brother, will move on shortly after. It will be tough getting used to the changes, but everything will work out." Huh.
Yeah. Interesting.
Okay. So a year before dad dies, daughter's saying, sad when I think about how my dad's going to die pretty soon and how my brother Sean, who's also dead now, is going to die shortly after. It'll all work out.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
So they go ahead and call Rachel in, the daughter, right? Because they're like, all right, let's talk about what's happening with this.
Yep. So again, her interview at the police station is also on the 2020. So again,
You guys gotta watch this.
gotta watch it. So Rachel's in there. She kind of acts confused and shocked when given the news about her mom. Like, what? I had no idea.
Said she did this? Yeah.
Brings up the fact that her mom had books about... Well, she was like, well, as a matter of fact, now that you say that my mom did this, she did have some weird books around, like, about poisonous plants, and she's talked about cyanide.
She's just, like, real quick to just throw that shit under the bus. Like,
Real quick.
Yep.
Here, Mom, here's a bus. I'm going to put you on it.
Right.
So, you know, again, she's putting it all on the mom. When she is shown the diary with her entry in it, she first claims it was about a bad dream she had about them dying. Bullshit! And then she ends up cracking right away, and it all comes out. So these women have no...
They don't hold out.
No, they do not.
Just like, but did you do it? No. But did you?
Yes. I did. That's all it took, really.
That was it.
So she says that her mom brought up the idea, but she and her mom planned to do it together, and that they researched ways to make it happen. So they looked on their computers over all these searches for
they didn't
suffocation,
clear that cache out.
No, they did not. They are dummies.
They don't know how to computer.
No.
They
hospital.
They don't know how to hospital. They don't know how to church.
No.
They don't know how to diary.
No.
Don't put that shit.
You net people.
Guys.
Advice, Number one, don't ever write anything down.
Just think it.
Yeah, think it.
Keep
There's
it,
no
bottle
point
it up.
writing it
Right.
down. So stupid. All right.
This was great. They even researched witchcraft.
Right.
Because, like,
Yeah. Okay.
they're gonna like hex them
I know.
to death or something. I don't know.
Yes. So they decided antifreeze because it was easy to get and easy to digest. So there apparently there's different types of antifreeze.
Yes.
And so they specifically ordered some online because the kinds you can buy in the store have a taste that's added to it specifically. So, I don't know, you can't poison people.
Right.
So they ordered it online. They got an odorless, flavorless.
They researched.
Kind.
They found out it takes time. It's
Yeah.
not something that happens right away. I found in one of the newsletter things about the stouties, they had like the symptoms of antifreeze.
Yeah.
Thought it was kind of interesting. You want to hear it?
Yes, please.
Just like a what's it? PSA.
PSA.
Just if you notice this. So this was from a newsletter article. It says, within the first 12 hours of ingestion, a person who's been poisoned, accidentally or not, they might act drunk. The central nervous system, I guess, starts to slow down. Sorry, it's cut off a little bit. The harmful compound in antifreeze is ethylene glycol, which is sweet tasting and odorless substance that's used in a variety of mechanical processes. Blah, blah, blah. It says a Springfield pharmacist was quoted here saying that antifreeze poisoning mimics the symptoms of numerous other more common health issues. Autopsies generally don't test antifreeze poisoning because it's so rare, and so it's one of those things that unless you're specifically looking for it, which you would never find it.
Yeah.
So I know there was a lot of questions about how this shit could have gotten overlooked, but unless you're looking for it, but kind of ties into how she was able to blame it off on flu-like symptoms and other health issues because it does mimic that.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
And the blood around the mouth, which we mentioned both Mark and Sean had, again, like you said, it could have been just from dying, anything, but that actually is a telltale sign of antifreeze, but because they didn't know they were looking at that.
Right.
They
And
didn't put
especially
it together.
with Sean saying, well, he's had seizures before. It could have been something. Right.
Yep.
Anyway.
Anywho.
So they researched, they did their Googling.
I mean, they sort of.
Right.
So, supposedly the plan was just to kill the dad, but Sean then was added, quote, to the list.
Damn,
because he was irritating. She argued to put him in assisted living, but Mom said no. So I guess she's saying that Rachel is saying, we don't have to kill him. Let's put him in assisted living.
Let's just get him out of here.
Yeah.
Right.
Nope. She just wanted him gone. And so Diane was very adamant about killing Sarah because she was a burden and, quote, needed taken care of.
Can you children.
Yep.
These are your children. Like, Mom, I know he's bothering you so much that you want to kill him. How about we just get him out of the house? Nope. I need him gone. Like,
gone.
Mom, the daughter, like, I got to get rid of her. She's a burden.
Yep.
And what the fuck?
And I just don't understand how she... So, it talks about how close the mom and Rachel were, that she was her favorite and all of that. I hope I'm not jumping ahead,
in fact, we can talk about that now.
But still, I mean, why would you go along with that?
Right? Well, obviously, Rachel's not
playing with a
full
deck.
Something, but there were a lot of reports. Mom just doted on Rachel, and constantly talked about how wonderful she was. She was so smart. Look at how great she is. And on her Facebook, she never said anything about her husband. She never said anything about her son or Sarah.
Nope, just
everything. It was all just Rachel, Rachel, Rachel. Somebody, I can't remember, it was on something, maybe a blog when I was trying to look some stuff up, but when Sarah graduated from college, there was one post that was good job, Sarah. When Rachel was about to graduate, it was, to my darling Rachel, here's a giant speech that I've typed up for blah blah blah. She played the organ in church. Rachel would play the flute sometimes with her, and it was just clearly, obviously creepy and very much her favorite. Again, she doesn't know how to kid either.
No, so many things she doesn't know how to do. Okay, so anyway, the investigators, asked why she bothered to even take
This
her
was fucked
sister to the ER.
This was so fucked up. So if you guys wanted to get rid of her so much, if you hate her so much, like why didn't you just let her die like the rest of the family?
Rest of them. Yep.
This was fucked up.
You ready for this, people? This is a quote. I didn't want another one to die in the house. Houses are nasty after someone dies.
That's what she says. Like she says that on the tape. It's on. You can watch it. I didn't want another one to die in the house.
It's nasty. Yep.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. I mean, I just want to see. You cannot see the investigator's face. You just see the back of his head in the tape.
Can you imagine? Like
how did he not
like,
go like
what?
Like,
eyebrows.
What?
Like how did you not like?
I'm sorry. What?
Damn, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then she says that the sister Brianna was next.
Who's like, mind you,
11? 11
yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
She was next because she was also a burden and couldn't be taken care of. I mean, here's what's funny. The brother, not funny. The brother's 26. Sarah is
24-ish.
24. She already did the hard part of raising these people.
Right. So this is like kid number 4. Like, you got this.
Yeah. What burden?
Right.
So then,
guys,
to sum it all up, I mean, people.
I gasped.
Yeah.
I think when I heard this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't watch the 2020 when it was
out
and huge. I remember people made a big deal, but I was like, I didn't get around to it. Whatever. Yeah. Oh my God, this made me gasp.
So they searched her purse and they found a poem written on a small folded piece of paper.
So this is a poem that she's carrying with her.
Yep. As a memento.
Just has it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, read it, please. This is so fucked up.
Once upon a time, there were 6. Now there are 3. Only quiet ones are left. My mom, my little sister, and me.
What the fuck?
I mean, that's creepy, horror movie.
Creepy. I wish we could edit and we could put creepy baby doll music in the background. That is so fucked up.
Just imagine it, because we can't do that.
Only the quiet ones are left.
Yeah.
What? You guys.
Absolutely not.
So crazy.
All right.
So that's it, basically.
Yeah, they confessed within 2 hours of being interviewed.
Yep. So mother-daughter tag-teamed murdering.
Would have murdered the entire family.
Entire freaking family.
Yep.
That is so...
And do you think the mom was pissed at Rachel for taking Sarah to the hospital?
I bet you she was.
Yeah. She's like, God damn it, that was not the plan.
Yeah. I have vacation coming up.
Yeah.
Now I gotta post some shit on Facebook about Sarah, which I never do.
Yeah.
I gotta not pretend to be concerned. I don't know.
Now I have to hospital and church.
And mom.
Yeah.
In front of people. Yeah, she would have to be. It kind of ruined, I mean, that's when it all hit the fan.
Yeah.
Is when Sarah shows up. But it kind of makes sense, too, of when she's asked about her in the interrogation room, how she's just I don't know how she's alive.
Right. I don't know, because I poisoned her ass.
Crazy. This is so crazy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's exactly what this blows up. I mean, this is national news. People Magazine, 2020. Everybody's losing their shit over this because it's so fucked up. There's poisoning cases. Mm-hmm. There's always those cases the wife poisons the husband, husband poisons, right? But to
systematically,
methodically, plot to kill
your entire
family with the help of one of your children who you're weirdly obsessed with, and vice versa. The whole thing is super weird and crazy, and right here in our own backyard, people.
That's right. And
damn.
Here, I have another text from a good friend of mine that we both worked at the same school, and I don't think I was there when Rachel was there, but my friend was. And so I said, hey, what do you remember about Rachel?
Okay.
So this is what she said. She said, I remember Rachel as being very quiet at first, but when you would talk to her, she was more mature acting than most of her fellow students and kind of had a sarcastic, cynical view of the world. She was an avid reader, and then Sean was severely mentally ill and very difficult to deal with. And then she said must have been hard to have kids know that was your brother. So she's like the perspective of people knowing that her brother had these issues.
Yes.
And so maybe that's why she was like withdrawn or whatever. But anyway, that was her perspective of her.
Interesting.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brenda.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, super fucked up. The only thing we really have left is just like what happened to them.
Yep. And it's pretty like cut and dry.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of bullshit.
Well,
to
there
it.
wasn't really a trial.
No,
it
because
was
they
just like they pled guilty. So Rachel, the daughter, she makes a plea deal. She again all about throwing mom under that bus. She agrees. She's like, if it does go to trial, I'll testify against my mom.
Yep. Let's
All
get
right.
this. Okay.
It didn't go to trial. She gets 2 consecutive life sentences plus 20 years. She, however, could be eligible for parole when she's 65.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see on that.
And then Diane pleads an Alford plea, which means you acknowledge prosecutors have enough evidence to convict without admitting guilt. And so she's sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Bye.
Bye.
In the trial, there's some video of that.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, who survives. First of all, Sarah, she makes it. She survives. She had to learn how to walk. She had to learn how to talk again.
Yep.
She still has some cognitive issues and some speech issues. She's as
in
of like one of the articles I read from 2016, she was in like had a guardian. Like
it looked
someone
like
to
she
kinda,
lives in a residential facility.
So I think she still needs some like assistance.
Mm-hmm.
At one point she speaks like in the courtroom, like gets up and reads a letter, and even talks about how she forgives her family. Like, well, she doesn't consider them family, but she forgives them for what they did. Yeah. And the whole fucking time, her mother never even looks at her, never even turns her face, never looks, just sits there stone cold, expressionless the whole fucking time. Can you imagine? The Rachel, I think at one point she even reads a letter, like apologizing, is like crying.
She's crying at least.
Yeah.
Has emotion.
But shit.
Yep.
The youngest daughter was never harmed. They didn't get to her.
I mean, physically.
Physically,
how
right?
Up is she?
Yeah. And who knows, like in that house, all that. Yeah. But she was not given antifreeze.
Right.
And she as of a 2016 article had been placed in foster care.
Yeah.
So
that's the saddest part right there.
Yep. So yeah, guys, this was
a good one.
This was it. Antifreeze Mom.
Yep, look it up.
Look it up,
There's
guys.
a lot of more stuff out there that you might find interesting.
Yes.
But that's pretty much it. All right.
Yeah. We didn't write down our little signing off thing, so we're just going to do this on the fly.
Uh-oh. Okay, you can email us
417hmt@gmail.com. We're on Instagram
at Hometown Murder Tour. And so follow us there. That's my newest little baby.
Yes. And we post
different content
mostly.
Yeah.
Sarah posts a lot of stuff there and info. So get on Instagram, find us, and follow us there.
Yep. And then we're on Twitter
at Murder Tour on Twitter.
Do that. And
all the places you're listening to us. Do that. We're on iTunes, Google Play Music, Podbean, of course. We're gonna look into Spotify situation. We don't know about that yet, but I think there's like Pocket Casts and Castbox, and you guys are finding places that we don't even know exist to listen to us. So keep doing that.
The dark web.
The dark web.
And
rate us.
Rate and review.
Tell your friends.
Review. Yeah. Share with your friends. Even if you don't know if they like true crime, make them listen anyway.
Yeah. Be like, hey, it's hometown. It's Springfield. If you're from this area, for sure, you should. But even if you're not, we appreciate you listening.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
We're having a blast, and we're glad you're along for the ride.
Literally.
I did that. That was not an accident.
Good job. Yep. All right.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Okay, bye.
All right. This is going to be a test. We're going to see what happens when you just gun this shit again.
Okay, ready?
We got music going in the background.
Here we
Little
go, here we
Alice
go.
95. Here we
Should
go.
I cut off this car?
Yeah, right in front of them.
Okay, right now, and then we wreck, and let's see how that sounds.
I do kind of want to hear
You want to hear
how it sounds.
on a wreck?
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm kidding. All right, so I'm gonna talk while you just peel the fuck out on a residential
how about
street.
that? And
All right. Yep.